So my involvement with this flight is my husband, Steve Nagel, was MS2 on this mission, and then he later flew, as pilot and commander of space shuttle flights. And I know this crew also because I worked with them in the astronaut program. I've had 4 shuttle missions, but not on Discovery. They were all on Atlantis and Endeavour, 2 on each. But when we get together like this, it's the same people. These are people that we have left NASA. We've gone off and done our other lives. Many different careers followed up, but when we get back together like this, it's just, there's just familiar sharing of common experiences and memories. And being on a crew with people, even though I wasn't on this specific crew, I knew these guys pretty well. But being on a crew together, which a lot of these folks shared tonight, is just a very special experience because you train often for longer than a year because flight dates slip. It becomes a second family, late night in simulators, training over and over, ascent sims, entry sims, on-orbit sims, and a huge team that makes it all happen. So I love, I have another life that I do now, different things. I'm a professor back at a university, but coming back here, I just love coming back and feeling the spirit again, of our times we had at NASA. It is still relevant today. I think, on the world stage today, there's competition to be in space. It's perceived, it's always been a mixture of science and politics, of course. There's a mixture of why we do these things, but it's perceived to be competitive in the world. You want to be a spacefaring nation with both robotic exploration and human, and that's why we have so many countries striving to do that. And it is an exploration beyond what we're comfortable with, what we know. We've still just barely tapped into traveling around our solar system. I mean, for humans, we have had baby steps. We haven't gone back to the moon in a long time. We want to do these things. We want to send people to Mars. And I could say you do it some for the science and what you're going to find. You do it for the world politics and being a player on that stage. And you do it because it's what we do. There's just this urge that, we don't know what's out there. We need to go look. We need to go learn more. And then that's when you often find out, oh, this was a good reason to have done it. And sometimes you don't know until you try. But we do know that being in space, I think, is just where we're going to be. We're going to move on out there. Yeah, I thought tonight with the Saudi partnership, and that was well explained so well in the video and the way they talked about. Not only did they have this collaboration on the shuttle, but it morphed into many scientific collaborations. It morphed into students in that country and in all the countries that are involved in spaceflight getting interested in studying math and science. And it unites us in such a positive, peaceful way on a global perspective that this is what we ought to be striving to do. So it's been a great relationship, and it's one you can see has withstood this test of time because here they are 30 years after this mission, and they're still enjoying getting together and talking about what happened. And you even had people here who supported the missions, who are equally important, and it played a role in their lives. I think we're learning a lot more about the human body and how it responds. There's bone loss, there's aging, there's immune system. So there's been human research mostly, and also extended greatly on the International Space Station. They've looked at development of new materials, that certain things can be done better in the environment of microgravity. We're also putting instruments out there to look at things that we can't detect here on Earth, and that humans are often instrumental in that interface, including, things like were mentioned actually by somebody tonight, looking for gravity waves. We can study basic physics from space. We can study astronomy better from space. We can look at materials processing. We can look at human biology. So, and there are international partners collaborating on these efforts too, which are really important. It's an extremely generous thing to do to not only have this event, but in the ways they facilitate people getting here. And he does it to bring friends back together, to bring colleagues and scientists and people back together, and it keeps alive this relationship. So I have had one trip to Saudi Arabia where he had the whole Association of Space Explorers. They hosted that international convention, and you know what? The more we interface with our friends and partners around the world, it just makes us all a little bit better.